Today, our financial system and all of its services are completely centralized. Banks, stock markets, insurance companies, and other financial institutions all have someone in charge, whether it be a company or a person that controls and offers these services. This centralized financial system, or CFI for short, has its risks: mismanagement, fraud, and corruption, to name a few. But what if we could decentralize the financial system as a whole in the same way that Bitcoin decentralized money? Well, that's exactly what DeFi is all about. DeFi is a term given to financial services that have no central authority or someone in charge. Using decentralized money, like certain cryptocurrencies that can be programmed for automated activities, we can build exchanges, lending services, insurance companies, and other organizations that don't have any owner and aren't controlled by anyone.
In terms of volume of transactions actually done on the ledger.
Nice.
And
Nice.
a lot of the
say that one more time. Say that one more time. It's only behind Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Ethereum
and as far as wow,
yeah, that's pretty big. Transactions. So it's, even though it's not like the most popular one out there or the most hyped one out there, it's people are actually using it like every day. And so I looked at that, and on top of that, a lot of the other smart contract solutions are either built based on Ethereum's virtual machine, which, as we discussed earlier, has a lot of inefficiency issues, or they aren't actually that flexible. They're either built by some third party or centralized, or you can't actually do a whole lot of things with them. So since we needed a really flexible one so we could create derivative contracts, we decided to go with Stellar.
What's going on, everybody? Man, happy Monday. It seems like a day never goes by without a surprise coming out of Stellar. And today we got Meinhard with Satoshipay with a great announcement. You know, we've been talking about smart contracts and DeFi for a long time. And we are here. Meinhard, CEO, co-founder of Satoshipay. Welcome to the show. How you doing, my friend?
Hi, Sam. Always good to be here. I love that tune at the beginning. What is that, actually? So the intro tune, it's really cool.
Yeah, man. It's actually a producer out of Ukraine. I'll have to drop you the link. Yeah. I love it. It really brings the energy of that country. So I was
dancing.
Well, we're all dancing right now because this announcement is pretty huge. I'm gonna read here. Satoshipay wrote here, we're excited to announce that we have received a research and development grant from Stellar Development Foundation to start development of the Pendulum network, a new second layer blockchain that connects Stellar to the wider DeFi ecosystem by adding smart contract support and bridges to Ethereum and Polkadot. So this is huge. So how did this whole thing get motivated to even begin in the first place?
Yeah, so as you know, we are quite long players in the Stellar ecosystem, and we use Stellar for several payment use cases, and it's great for that. And micropayments, and then also D-Transfer, our B2B money transfer service, runs on Stellar. And but there was some inefficiencies, some things that we desperately wanted, and where we saw solutions for that exist on other chains or like in a decentralized manner, and they're almost all of the time based on smart contracts. So there was a bit of this envy going on, and also this search of a smart contract solution for Stellar. And we looked at things like the Turing signing service that's already connected to Stellar. And these things, after in-depth study of it, don't do everything that we need to do. And again, more research, more talking also with the foundation in the search of a smart contract solution, and nothing really fulfilled or had all the checkboxes that we wanted. And then we said, okay, well, then we need to do it ourselves. We have the expertise. We have definitely the motivation for it. We have the business case. So D-Transfer, as you know, is doing cross-border money transfer. So that always includes a foreign exchange. So one currency is exchanged against the other in the process. We're doing this currently on the built-in decentralized exchange on Stellar. But the decentralized exchange is order book based. So it means you need to place an order. That order will then be fulfilled by someone. So there needs to be an active market maker, like for example, a market making entity, usually from the traditional finance field, because they have the deep pockets to do this, to hold the liquidity on sort of both sides of the deal. And this can cause delays or outdated pricing, so you don't get the optimal pricing that you want. And we thought, well, this needs an automated market making service where everything that is done in the process of the foreign exchange is automatically and instant. So and this is not order book based, it's liquidity pool based. So you have two liquidity pools staked on each side of the deal. And then the algorithm sort of finds the best price and allows money to exchange transparently and efficient and fast. And the added effect is that the people that supply the liquidity pools can take part of the deal. Let's say we pay a 0.1% fee on the exchange. People that supply the liquidity can get a share of that as well. So you put money up on, let's say, the Stellar network, and you can earn money doing so. So that's the big DeFi deal. That's how DeFi works in most parts. That you kind of park your money there, and other people can work with it, and you are being compensated for locking the liquidity there. So all of this is like two steps further. But to make this possible, we need smart contracts on Stellar or connected to Stellar, and that's exactly what Pendulum is in the first instance.
Wow. And yeah, so like I'm reading down here, and it talks about what I like here. It talks about utilizing DeFi protocols with a focus on fiat tokens, including automated market makers that enable foreign exchange without middlemen. I had a great conversation with Anthony Barker last week, and that's one thing that he pointed out was that the focus and growth that Stellar brings with fiat tokens, stable coins, the potential of CBDCs really opens up a huge difference maker for the protocol. Is this what you guys are seeing from your end as well?
Exactly. So that's why we think Stellar is the ideal platform for holding these fiat amounts or fiat stakes. And then we can interact with it and kind of have access to these assets on the Stellar network and can sort of upload them or link them or mirror them to Pendulum and can then work freely within the Pendulum network. But yeah, so the biggest strength of Stellar is its focus on these fiat tokens. And so much work has been done in the last years by the whole Stellar team to also lobby these things. And Danielle is talking to people like the World Bank. So very, very high level conversations are being held, and also trust has been built for many years with central banks all over the world by the Stellar team. And that is really the unique selling point, or the unique property of the Stellar network that we have always seen, and that we want to connect to the wider world of DeFi. And the foreign exchange market is the biggest money flow market in the world. So we're talking about I believe it was 9 trillion or 7 trillion US dollars every year that are flowing through that system. So if you get just a fraction of that on Pendulum and Stellar, that's already a huge deal, and a lot of people can benefit from it. So that's the beauty of this. It's not just for the businesses that are doing money transfers with with services like TransferWise and DTransfer, but it's also the people that stake the liquidity. So everybody sort of wins. It's a win-win-win situation. That's the beauty of this.
No, this is really taking things to a whole different level. Now, I know that there's been some work on there that has been done for the Turing signing contracts. Now, is this something that's completely separate from it, or does it work alongside the Turing contracts? What is that?
This is a separate project, yeah. So we looked at it, we started the architecture and what it does, and what it can do parts of what we were trying to achieve, but not the whole thing. And also the execution of arbitrary smart contracts, for example, for NFTs also, or like completely different applications like lending, or things that we haven't even conceived yet. We wanted to recreate anything that's done on Ethereum now on Stellar as well. So that was the goal, and have this very broad instruction set that can be executed on Stellar, not just a narrow focus. Stellar as a protocol has a very narrow focus on very few instructions, which is beautiful and very safe and stable. But you want that experimental edge also. When you want to build software, and also attract different kind of developers that obviously work within a different risk profile. But a lot of innovation can happen through that extension that we're building, essentially.
So I know someone that posted earlier. There's quite a few different smart contract DeFi protocols that are out there. Why Polkadot and Ethereum in particular?
So Polkadot as a chain we will connect to, and also Ethereum as a chain we will connect to the assets to pull in, especially from Ethereum, the existing assets and liquidity there.
Wow.
As a smart contracting platform, or as a, let's say, building block platform, we have chosen the Polkadot substrate framework, which is essentially a toolbox where you can, you take a network protocol here, you take like a consensus algorithm there, and then you have an address scheme and like a consensus nodes, and all this is sort of pre-prepared for you. You plug it together like Lego. Well, I'm sure our technical team will disagree with this, but you know what I mean. Like it's a lot of done is over. It's like the classic open source model of lots of libraries that you write some glue code for, fire it up, and you have like a huge powerful system without having to write it all yourself. So in the past, you needed to write a blockchain from scratch. You could fork one or just kind of clone the code of another one. But if you wanted to build something completely new, you had to write it from scratch, and that's what most people did, or a lot of blockchains did. These days, you can rely on powerful frameworks that are like driven by practical experience. And Polkadot, it's like the people behind Ethereum, started Polkadot and Parity. There are also like guys from Berlin, and it's very close to us. And we have, we can have conversations over, a beer in Kreuzberg with the people that sort of invented this, which is pretty cool. Kreuzberg is a part of Berlin. And yeah, so that's one factor, but we also really like the technology behind it, and its modular nature.
Yeah, it always makes a big deal when you can, easily talk over a pint of beer. It does make it a lot easier to communicate. So, there's so many different use cases that can come out of Pendulum. You mentioned in the beginning that there may be some use cases that you haven't thought of yet. What are some of the use cases out there that it may be long in the future, but it potentially could help benefit the existing Stellar network?
So I just noticed the headline went missing on the blog post. I need to fix that. I don't know. There's a headline on where the three dots are. They are there. So other use cases. Well, it's really the main ones. The automated market making is like what we want to go immediately for, and we will also either encourage or have grants for people building these AMM scripts or AMM smart contracts. But also NFT is a very powerful one, and we see this going to various places. I don't think it's just like a hype at the moment. This really adds value to the whole blockchain ecosystem, and also to compensating artists. So we want to see NFTs also being built on this. And
nice.
So crypto lending, insurances, oracles can be implemented now as well, so that you have an external information source that is linked with a smart contract in a decentralized way to the Stellar network as well, or to Pendulum, and therefore to Stellar. So that's the plan for sure.
Wow. No, that is really something else, man. That's really something else. Well, Meinhard, man, we are really excited to see this development. We're glad that you're involved, as you mentioned, and I'll definitely attest. You've been a major force in the Stellar community, independently out there building, researching, and bringing a lot of good value to the network. I think we covered everything that we can today. I really appreciate you coming in onto the show. Please keep us posted on the development. Are you guys going to have any Discord channels or anything like that we can steer people to if they want to get involved?
Absolutely. That's all linked on our Twitter profile or Twitter link profile links to the website. And it's linked there and also in the announcement that you just showed, that which you can find on our Twitter, twitter.com/Satoshipay. And then also Pendulum_chain is the new handle for Pendulum, which we introduced today. And well, as you say, like ecosystem players, we just try to be good neighbors. We receive a lot from the community, and we are happy to give back. That's really the collaboration part. And also, kind of as a teaser, when things will be live. So we have already test nodes that we are currently deploying, and testing a few early prototypes. And we expect a testnet to be live already within this year, and maybe even a mainnet as well. But the exact timing, we will disclose later. And there's going to be follow-up news. This was just a little teaser where we wanted to share the good news that the Stellar Foundation is really helping us with this, and that we're in close contact with the foundation about this, and that they also now put money where their mouth is, and gave us a grant for this, which is very helpful. And we expect this multi-level grant or multi-stage grant with several milestones really to accelerate the initial development of Pendulum.
Well, this is huge. Stellar,
thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Stellar by far is leading the wave when it comes to payments. And when you talk about payments and the financial, the entire financial ecosystem, this just, really puts the icing on the cake. So, we're excited. We appreciate you working on this, and we look forward to all the great updates. Everybody out there, make sure to go to Satoshipay's Twitter page. As you mentioned, you can get all these links. I've also tweeted this out already this morning, so you'll be able to read up on this and see exactly how everything connects. Thank you, everybody, and we'll be back. See you guys soon.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah.